such high deployment frequencies as a security team, there can be many challenges, which may not necessarily be just applications. Like I was saying, few that I can easily think of are, for example, there are many new containers, infra workloads being provisioned from time to time, and that you're not just looking into the code at that time, you're also as a security team looking at how do I secure all of these?
Yeah.
And you obviously now want to ensure security of this infra and also ensure that everything from not just identifying vulnerability, but vulnerability management and detection, but also patching is taken care of.
Yeah.
Now that has been a touchy subject. So how do you think security teams can take care of patch management at such high speeds?
There are some standard strategies anyways, right? And Martin Fowler has written about them, that how you can do releases in a manner where you can switch between a new release and old release. And if you are able to switch between new and old, you have prepared the new in a way that the infra is patched, right? If we are still talking about deploying to standard servers, virtual machines, right? But the moment you say that I'm going to mostly deploy to a container or a containerized workload, then your container itself has its own configuration file, right? And in the past, the big challenge with staging a dev test, UAT staging prod environment tended to be that the environment may be different. It could be in the developer's laptop, and similar had to be in staging, similar had to be in prod, and obviously prod gets the most cores and amount of RAM, right? That's expensive. But once you move to like a containerized way of working, and let's say most of us use Docker, then the fundamental infra remains the same. But the developer laptop may not have enough cores or enough RAM, but that's immaterial, right? And that point, there is no reason to do inline patching. I mean, well, there are enough security products making millions of dollars doing that for compliance reasons. But the secret mantra there, or the not so secret mantra there, is to do immutable infrastructure, which is like you replace the infra, you bake the code and the configuration in the new infra when you do your thing. And that is a very powerful motivator for people. The motivator being reduce the burden of patch management, right? So that you're still compliant with whatever you want to be compliant with, PCI or something, while letting developers actually, get the velocity that they need, right? Fundamentally, the reason the velocity exists is because the moment you are racing to release features because the business demands it, mostly business has made some promises and guarantees to end customers, to marketing. Maybe they have something else linked to that. Like I worked with an edtech and they were big sponsors of sporting events, right? In that sense, the live event will happen when it will happen. So you can't really not ship the feature because, security said so.
Because it's raining.
Yeah, all of that, right? So being able to understand that, hey, let's transform our infra. Why? Because the burden of patch management is just going to become worse, right? And why is that burden increasing? Because imagine a scenario where you had a procurement team and an IT team used to work closely with them, and you would say, I'm buying 10 Dell servers, right? And first I will onboard them, I will name them, tag them, and I will set up the OS and golden image and all that. But now where is the image? The image is being provided by a cloud provider, right? You're trusting the provider to give you the image. And it's very easy to align the same version, the same runtime, all of that in the developer laptop, all the way to whatever your production infra is going to be, right? And if it is solved, you can do high velocity deployment. If this is not solved, then you're dealt with, you're dealing with like crazy troubleshooting of production while new code is still being deployed. So at no point do you know that, hey, is this a new bug I'm solving? Or is this an old bug in a new place? Or, it's just like a mess. And that burns people out eventually.
Yeah. I think Very well explained. And yeah, that could be a problem that you would keep going back to in a time when you don't have the time for it.